This is China Gateway 360. Firing an employee in China? Think twice. We're opening the 2026 Executive Playbook to tackle a major challenge for any business, managing the financial and legal realities of workforce separations and market exits in China. The reality on the ground is that China's labor regime heavily protects employees. The core rule is simple. Almost any employer-initiated termination mandates statutory severance. Mismanage it and trigger an illegal termination, you're immediately hit with a strict 2x penalty multiplier.
And it gets worse if things end up in labor arbitration. Recent data shows these disputes average 5.3 months to resolve in Tier 1 cities. That's nearly half a year of paralyzed exit timelines and frozen corporate capital.
Your financial exposure basically comes down to 3 legal pathways. First, legal termination carries a standard one-time severance but demands flawless procedural compliance. Then there's the negotiated mutual agreement, where you add a goodwill top-up for a clean break. And finally, that illegal termination, triggering the 2x penalty cost.
But here's the catch. That penalty isn't just financial. Take a look at this figure, 23%. According to recent Shanghai data, 23% of illegal termination cases actually requested forced reinstatement instead of a payout. That means you could be forced to take the employee back, complete with full back wages.
So how is this baseline cost calculated? It's the average monthly salary over the past 12 months multiplied by years of service. But notice the caps. High earners making over 3 times the local average have their payouts and years strictly capped at 12. For junior staff below that threshold, the liability has no year limit whatsoever.
China Gateway. Gateway.
Your gateway to business in China.
Let's apply this to a 2026 Shanghai exit scenario. A senior director with 15 years of service hits that dual cap on salary and years, limiting their statutory severance to exactly 504,000 RMB. Meanwhile, a junior staff member's years of service keep accumulating endlessly without any capital.
Now, here is a critical warning. Budgets based purely on statutory minimums will fail. That statutory severance is strictly a baseline. The real exit bill is often 15 to 40% higher once you factor in mandatory payouts for unused annual leave, notice periods, and penalties for delayed social insurance.
So how do you choose your strategy? For workforces under 30 people with tight timelines, negotiated mutual agreements avoid precedent-setting arbitration. But for groups over 50 or highly paid teams, a mass legal redundancy forces those high earners into the statutory caps, potentially saving you hundreds of thousands of RMB.
Executing this requires rigid compliance across 3 phases. In Step 1, a mass redundancy means you absolutely must notify the Labor Bureau 30 days in advance to avoid fines. Following negotiations in Step 2, Step 3 requires immediately canceling social insurance on the exact final working day to stop ongoing liabilities.
Even with a solid plan, foreign entities frequently trip over 3 blind spots. First, salary calculation errors, like omitting bonuses from the baseline, trigger severe underpayment penalties. Second, weak settlement documentation. And third, terminating protected classes, which easily leads to forced reinstatement and heavy back pay.
To really underline the danger of that second blind spot, check out this stat. In 2024, 38% of plaintiffs in Beijing sued after accepting severance because the paperwork didn't explicitly waive future claims. Having a PRC counsel draft your settlement agreement isn't just a good idea, it's mandatory to prevent this.
Tax and expat risks can also double your expenses. While standard severance is tax-exempt up to a limit, expat contracts frequently include tax gross-up clauses. Absorbing a 45% income tax hit on a senior expat severance can add 600,000 RMB to your bill. Furthermore, their work permits must be canceled within 10 days to avoid damage claims.
To secure a compliant separation, take 3 immediate actions. 1. Audit your workforce right now for protected classes. 2. Model true costs by factoring in unused leave and tax limits. And 3. Engage local PRC counsel. A small upfront legal fee isolates your entity from arbitration claims that cost 10 times as much.
Fair rule or costly burden? What do you think?